Hello all, welcome to my channel.
So our today agenda is introduction to medallion architecture. So what is medallion architecture and all we will see today. So medallion architecture is nothing but here. It is like a 3 layers process, I can say. So what is this 3 layers? So if you see here, the name itself, medallion, it means which is like which is including some metals or some medals in any competition. If you go, then you will get, so as a first prize, you will get like the gold medal. And as a second prize, you will get some silver medal. And after that, you will get some bronze medal like that, right? In the same way, we will also have some metals in the same way, gold, all these other metals only, right? So in the same way, here in our data point of view also, what we will do, since we need to use the cleaned data to the analytical purpose to do analysis on top of the data, we need cleaned data. So to cleanse the data, we will follow one process. That process is nothing but here the medallion architecture, I can say. This is most important in our interview point of view. So if you go to interview for a data engineer, then they will ask this question definitely. So uh, here the medallion architecture means after bringing the raw data from your source to the destination. The destination is nothing but here, like your fabric or anything. Even in your ADF also, we used to follow this medallion architecture. So after bringing the data from source to the destination, that layer, we call it as a raw layer. It means without touching any data, without applying any transformations, if you can bring the data from that source to your destination, that raw data, that layer is called raw layer. And after bringing that raw layer data, after bringing the data to that raw layer, we can apply some transformations on top of it, some basic transformations. So for example, what I can say, I have 100 columns in my table, but in my reporting layer, I don't want to use all 100 columns. Whatever the required columns I want, I will use only that required columns. So what I will do, out of 100, I will select only the required 10 or 15 columns from that table, and I will send that 15 columns of the resultant table to the next layer, that is your silver layer. So whatever the raw data is here, no, that is called your bronze layer. So here in the fabric, we call it as bronze, silver, gold. But in our ADF, we call it as raw, curated, enriched. Both are same, guys. But here, especially in the fabric, we call it as raw, bronze, silver, and gold. So your raw data. So whatever the raw data you are storing here, that raw data is your bronze layer. From the bronze layer, you have to apply some transformations. It means you have to apply the basic transformations, and you have to send that data from that bronze layer to the next layer. That next layer is called silver layer. And after coming the data to the silver zone or silver layer, we can apply business logics on top of it. It means we will create fact and dimension tables on top of the silver data, and we will send that resultant fact and dimension tables to the gold layer. It means to the next layer, that is your gold layer. So gold layer is nothing but here, which is ready to serve for the Power BI reports or for the analytical purpose. Ready to serve means, for example, if you are cooking something, some dishes, so you are serving that to your dining table, and you people ready to eat that food. In the same way, your serving layer, nothing but the gold layer, which is ready to what I mean is ready to consume the data. So ready to use the data for analytical purpose. So that is your medallion architecture. Okay, everything is fine. Then where I can store all this data? What is this raw layer or bronze layer means where it is saving? It means in the real time, we will create 3 lake houses. One lake house is for LH underscore bronze layer. We call it as LH underscore bronze layer. And another lake house, LH underscore silver layer, and another lake house, LH underscore gold. Like that, we will create 3 lake houses, and we will keep the data in each lake house after applying the transformations. So we have to process the data from one layer to another layer. This is one scenario in the real time. So some companies or some clients, they will maintain different workspaces all together, like for the different layers. So what they will do, they will keep WS underscore raw layer, workspace name, guys, this is. So they will maintain one workspace for complete raw data. And after applying transformations, they will send that data to the another workspace. So WS underscore silver. So here that layers maintenance is depends upon the client requirement. If they want to use all the data, they want to keep all the data within the same lake house, within the same workspace, and they want to maintain the medallion architecture means we will create 3 lake houses and we will keep the data in the lake houses level. If they don't want to keep all 3 layers data in one single workspace, now what we will do, we will create 3 workspaces. One workspace purely for bronze layer, like that. So that architecture is depends upon the client we have to give. So here, if you want to know more about this medallion architecture and all, you can just go through these 2 links and you will get some more knowledge. Now, medallion architecture here, if you see, which is having 3 distinct layers. Those are also called zones, like raw zone, silver zone, or gold zone. Nothing but RAM is bronze layer here. So that 3 medallion layers are like your bronze, which is including raw data, and your silver, which is having the validated data. Nothing but here, we are just selecting the required columns, and we are just removing some null values and here, and we are validating that data. And after that, the next layer is gold, which is having the enriched data, nothing but which is ready to serve, ready to consume, I can say. And each layer indicates the quality of data which is stored in the lakehouse, with higher levels representing higher quality. It means if you get gold, what I mean to say, gold medal in your sports, it means you are the first winner. In the same way, higher level means the quality of the data is representing higher value. So gold means which is cleaned data and which is purely good data. And here silver means a little bit, which is some mixed mode, I can say, which is having 50% of the quality data. And the raw data, nothing but the bronze data means, which is I can say the transactional data or raw data, which may have null values, which may have some errors, some data type conversion issues, some irrespective data types, everything. Raw data means whatever the data which is coming directly from the source, that data is called here the raw data, and that we can store here in the bronze layer. So this multi-layer approach, it means this medallion architecture can help you to maintain the quality of the data here. So you have to follow this medallion architecture for sure in your organization. So if you see here, this is bronze, silver, and gold. So bronze layer is here nothing but, which is also called the raw zone. This is the first layer which stores source data in its original format, I can say. Here if you see, it means raw data as it is, whatever is coming from the source, that data as it is will come here, and it will sit here in your bronze layer. So that is maybe unstructured or semi-structured or the structured data, whatever it is. It is purely whatever is there in your source, the same data will come and sit here in your bronze layer. So this one, where we can use it, the bronze data means this is like for auditing purpose in the future or for the historical data. For example, if we want to do analysis on top of the raw data only, so on top of the source data only, if we want to do any analysis in the future, no, then we will use this layer and we will do analysis on top of this data. Sometimes no, what client will ask, I want to see my as it is data, I want to see my original data, whatever it is there in my source. So that's why what we will do, we will not touch the branch layer data. We will take the data and we will apply some transformations and we will push that to next layer. So their bronze data, raw data will be remains same in their bronze layer. And after that, we will apply some transformations on top of this data and we will push the resultant data to the silver layer. We are not overriding the bronze data. We are just taking the data, applying the transformations and pushing that to the silver. So that is our silver layer. So in silver layer, we also call it as the curated zone. This raw zone, curated zone and enriched zone are the ADF terminology, guys. Bronze, silver and gold are our fabric terminology. So this is also called the curated zone. This data, if you see here, this layer stores data sourced from bronze layer. To the bronze, our source is original data source. But to the silver, what is the data source? Bronze only, right? From this layer only, we are taking the data and pushing here. It means to the silver layer, your data source is bronze to the silver layer. So my destination is silver layer, my source is bronze layer. So from bronze only, we are taking here. And the data is cleaned data. It means cleansed data here. And now it is in the form of the structured. So rows and columns format. And here, what will happen? If you have different data sources in your client environment, for example, if you are taking 3 data sources, on-prem, Dynamics 365, and ADLA Gen 2, all the data will come and sit here in your bronze layer. So after coming that data to your bronze layer, here what will happen? While pushing from bronze to silver in between, we will combine the data. We will integrate the data from different sources. So from on-premise as well as from Dynamics. If you want to integrate, you can able to integrate that data in between these 2 layers and you can push that to silver. That is what it is saying. It might also be integrated with other data. Okay, it means depends upon your business requirement. You have to integrate your data. You have to combine your data with other different sources. So that is what your silver data. And from silver to gold, while pushing from silver to gold, depends upon the business logic, you have to create the fact and dimension tables for star schema or snowflake schema. So to form the star schema, we need to have only one fact table and other different dimension tables. So we will do that from silver to gold. So if you see here, which is also called as your enriched zone. So it can be sourced from your silver layer, since we are taking the data from silver only. And this is very refined data to meet your business purpose. So if you see here, whatever the business logic you have, whatever the business requirement you have, to meet that requirement, this data, it is refined and To meet that requirement, we will apply that business logic on top of the silver data and push to the gold layer. So which is ready to consume, I can say. And these tables are typically maybe to form the star schema design, and which is like optimize the tables as well. Here we should have fact and dimension tables to form the star schema. That is what your 3 layers. Now this is how the architecture look like in the real time when you follow the medallion architecture. So this is my data sources. You can just ignore this part. I have just taken this part from here only. I will explain later about this part, this box. Okay, just concentrate on this part. Now I have data sources here. In the data sources, I may have files, some files which are coming from on-prem, some business applications at the front end, and maybe at the back end, which can be stored in the databases as well. And I have some IoT devices, some real-time data, or some databases. I have data in my databases. So I have data in my different data sources. That is your data sources part. We are just bringing that data from these different data sources to our fabric, and this is prepare and transform layer. This is your data source layer, and this is your prepare and transform layer. It means within this layer, you will follow the medallion architecture, and you have to get the cleaned data. So here, if you see, we will use maybe pipelines or data flows or shortcuts to copy this data from these different sources to the fabric. So here in the fabric, no, all these are here in a single workspace or maybe in different workspace as well. These 3 layers. So here I am creating one lake house, or you can use warehouse also, guys. Here that is depends upon the client requirement. So at this moment we will use only the lake houses. Okay, so now you can create one lake house, and first you can save that data. You can copy that data to that branch lake house first. After pushing that data, you can use either notebooks or the data flows or Spark jobs. Spark jobs nothing but it is there in your notebook only. So you can use notebooks or the data flows and apply the business logic. Nothing but apply some initial transformations and push that data to the silver layer. And again, you can take the data from the silver layer, and again, you can use either data flows or notebooks, and you can create fact and dimension tables, and you can push that to your gold layer. So in this gold layer lakehouse, in this gold lakehouse, you will have the cleaned data. So on top of it, you can create the Power BI reports. This is analyzing layer, nothing but for analysis purpose. So on top of the cleaned data, you can create the Power BI reports, or you can directly on top of this gold data, now you can use SQL endpoint, because one SQL endpoint will automatically create along with your lakehouse. You can create the SQL endpoint. You can use the SQL endpoint, and you can do the analysis on top of this gold layer data, on top of this cleaned data. So this is how in the real time the process will follow. So here now this is the medallion architecture. These 3 layers, we call it as this gray box, is your medallion architecture. So in the real time we usually follow. From bronze to silver, we will use data flows to apply the transformations. From silver to gold, we will use notebooks to create the fact and dimension tables. Even some clients 50% of the clients, we are using, throughout all the layers, we are using notebooks only, not even the data flows. So from this layer, we will use notebooks and apply the transformations. And from this layer to this layer also, we will use these notebooks only and apply the transformations. So this is the overall flow end to end in our real time, whatever we are following. Now, if you see this part, I have just taken this medallion architecture part. I have just take it out, and I'll explain. So here, what will happen in your branch layer? If you have 5 tables, for example, 5 tables or 5 files, you can consider whatever it is. If you are having 5 tables from bronze to silver, what you will do? You will use some data flows. You can use some data flows, and you can convert that 5 tables into 3 tables. How I can convert that 5 tables into 3 tables means you can apply joins here, magic. If these 2 tables having any relationship, for example, then you can join these 2 tables and you can convert that table into a single table. Again, you can join these 2 tables and convert that into a single table. Like that, if you are having 5 tables in your branch layer, you can apply some business logics and transformations and convert that tables into 3 tables, and you can push that 3 tables to your silver layer. In between, you have to apply that logic, maybe joins or append, whatever it is. And in the silver layer, you have 3 tables. And again, if there is a scope to join these 2 tables, just join those 2 tables, and you can create this as a fact table. And this dimension table, as it is, you can push that table to your gold layer. So one is fact table, fact underscore maybe transaction table, and dim underscore location or geography. Like that, you can use some proper name and send that data to your gold layer. In between, the transformations will happen, guys. So we will not touch the original data. We will just take that data to our notebook or data flow and apply transformations and push to the next layer. So this is how it will happen. Even in your branch layer, you have 45 tables, for example. That 45 tables, maybe from bronze to silver, it became to 25 tables, and silver to gold, it become to 6 to 7 tables. So mostly, we have to reduce the number of tables from one layer to another layer by joining that 2 or 3 tables. So this is how in the real time we follow. This is what happened. So for example, in my client system, I have these 3 data sources. I have some cloud data source like ADL, Gen2 or Azure SQL, and some Kafka I have, and some Salesforce I have. These 3 data sources I have. Now what I'll do, from the first source, I'm bringing one table, that is customers table. And from the second source, I am ingesting the second table. And from third source, I am bringing 3 tables. Total 5 tables in my branch layer. So that 5 tables, I am just taking first 2 tables in between from your bronze to silver in between before pushing this data to the silver layer. This is the table in your silver layer. So before pushing this to silver layer, I am just joining or combining these 2 tables into a single table. That is customer underscore transaction. If you see here now, this is customers underscore cleaned and transactions underscore cleaned. That I am pushing into a single table. That is customer underscore transaction. It means what we have to understand, the 2 tables, whatever it is coming from the bronze layer, that 2 tables, I have scope to join those 2 tables. That's why I am just joining these 2 tables and giving proper name and push into my silver layer. And now again, these 2 tables, if you see, these 3 tables, if you see, I am just combining these 2 tables and pushing to single table. And the third table, whatever it is coming from Salesforce, third table, I don't have any relation between this table and these tables. That's why I'm pushing as it is with the some other name to the silver layer. Now, these 5 tables converted into 3 tables in my silver. One is customer underscore transaction, account underscore opportunities, and leads underscore cleaned. This leads underscore raw become as leads underscore cleaned. I just renamed it. And maybe I applied some transformations. So that 5 converted into 3 in my silver. Again, from the silver to gold, no, I am just pushing leads as it is with some other name. Okay. And whatever the resultant tables coming here, that 2 tables again I am converting into a single table. So I am considering this as a fact table and this as a dimension table. It means 5 tables converted into 3 in my silver, and from silver to gold, these 3 tables converted into 2 tables. Like this, we have to join multiple tables and we have to form fact and dimension tables in our gold layer. So on top of it now, we will create the, what I mean to say, Power BI reports. So now if you come to your fabric, we are here in the fabric. I have created 3 lake houses here. One is LH underscore raw layer. Second one is LH underscore silver. And the third one is LH underscore gold. So 3 lake houses we have created here. So this is how you have to create in the real time as well. So we will go and see practically what we will do. We will create 3 lake houses and we will ingest some data to our raw layer, and from there we will process. We will see that practically.
Thank you, guys. If you have any questions, please post in the comments. I will try to give answers. Please do subscribe my channel and do remember, with the right data, every challenge has a solution.